Nocterra issue number 10 from Image Comic. So yeah, in the last issue we had Val and her convoy basically allow Bill to, I don't want to say join the team, but they basically are kind of forcing him to help. But he's kind of going along with it. Like he doesn't seem to have a problem helping them out. And they have found Luna, which is a base which has the coordinates for Eos, which will allow them to bring the sun back, or at least that's what they're hoping for. So we start off with Bailey having a nightmare, which I'm going to skip over because it doesn't matter. The convoy arrives at the base, and then they see what looks like the sun, but it's actually just the lights on the base. The lights are, that's why it's called Luna, which is weird because Luna means moon, but this looks more like a sun than it does a moon. But basically, yeah, there's a lot of bright lights, which keeps the base safe from all the shades. And then the fact that there's only one way to get there, and that's through the bridge, which is guarded, means that the space is pretty safe. They're wondering how they're going to get there. And Bill just says, like, well, if you guys let me free and give me a weapon, I can pretend that I'm going back, seeing the error of my ways, and I'm going to join them and sneak you guys in that way. But of course, no one wants to trust Bill. So like, well, why don't we use Bill as bait? Why don't we send him over, and while he's distracting everybody, we'll use mag claps, which are basically magnetic pads, and they will sneak under the bridge. Everyone is going to go except for Bailey and Adam. And we have this weird moment. It's the artwork that bothers me here. So I love the artwork in this series. I think the artwork has been very, very good. Minus the Bill one-shot origin story special, but that was from a different artist. I thought that art was terrible. But the art in the series has been really good. But this panel right here bugs me, and that's just because of Val's face and her expression, or lack of expression. It looks like she's not even looking at Bailey. It doesn't even really look like Bailey's looking at her in this bottom panel. Her face is just like, it looks like a statue almost. And it doesn't make sense because you can't see the dialogue because I've erased it for copyright reasons and stuff. But in this dialogue, Valve is basically yelling at Bailey. And the reason why is because Bailey is yelling first. Bailey is yelling that, you're leaving me here instead of allowing me to go with you guys into the base. You're trusting Bill. Is Bill now part of the team? And Valve is basically saying the reason why I'm asking you to stay is because you have Gus's equation in your head. You're a walking version of the math that can save the world. Why the hell would I want to bring you into the base where if things go down, if the crap hits the fan, why would I want you there when you're the one who can save the world? So of course I'm going to keep you here. And so Bailey kind of yells at her, and Valve yells back. And Valve yells like, we'll use Bill as long as we have to. Enough. I'm the lead rig on this convoy. What I say goes. You got that? You're going to stay in the truck with Adam, and you're going to run when I give you the location. You run as fast as you can. But she's yelling. There were even specific parts in the dog where the words are bold because it's like she's emphasizing them, and they all end with exclamation marks. Yet, looking at this face, you do not see that expression. It doesn't look like she's yelling. It doesn't look like she's trying to convince Bailey. It looks like she's just apathetic, no expression whatsoever. So I didn't like this. This is like a nitpick, but it bothered me while I was reading that. Like as I was reading this, it immediately popped into my head. Like, why isn't she expressing her anger, or why doesn't her face and her expression match her words and her tone? So then we see the two guards on the bridge, and under the bridge we see Val and her convoy, and they're using the mag pads. And we have like a moment where we see a bunch of these giant whale tentacle looking shade creatures. And they're giants, they're big, they're dangerous. And the only reason that they're kept at bay is because of all the spotlights and stuff like that. But even Bill's kind of like taunting them because they're communicating with Bill on a little earpiece. And he's basically saying if those lights flicker for even a second, they're going to gobble you up. And they tell Bill to shut up. And Bill walks across the bridge. He distracts the two guards long enough for Valve and her group to pop up behind them and shoot them. And then they sneak inside the building. And I'm going to skip a bunch of pages. And eventually we come across Sam and Diggs. And these are the leaders or the guys in charge. At least Sam is. Diggs seems to be like his second in command or henchman or whatever. And Diggs is someone else that Bill has messed up. Bill apparently like ripped off part of his face while he was ripping off William's dick. And so basically we get like a taunt moment between the group. Valve and the group show up and hold the group hostage. Meanwhile, outside, Bailey sees that the Nocturnes have showed up. And eventually they stab Bill with the throwing knife, and the Nocturnes appear. And we have this other moment that bothered the hell out of me, where Sam is able to elbow Valve and cause her to drop her weapon, which just makes me wonder, why would you get that close? I don't know. This is something that always bothered me in everything, in movies, cartoons, stories, comics, manga, whatever, is when you see a character holding another character at gunpoint, and yet they get close enough for the other person to hit them, for the other person to reach out and either knock the weapon away or take the weapon from them or just elbow them in the face like we have here, just something. And I'm just like, you have them at gunpoint. You do know that a gun is a projectile weapon, right? It's a ranged weapon. Why are you getting within arm's reach of your hostage? Like, that never makes any sense to me. Like, if I'm holding someone at gunpoint, I'm not going to get within reach of them. I'm going to stay back so that if they make any move, I can blast them. But no, I guess Valve is close enough for Sam to knock the weapon out of her arm. And things look terrible. Things look like they're going to be really bad. But then Bailey shows up. And there's another panel that bothers the hell out of me. Look at the way that Bailey is holding that rifle. That's gonna recoil and hit her in the face. It's gonna fly out of her arms. Like, she does not have that stock pressed up against her shoulder. She is holding that very incorrectly. That's not the way you want to hold that rifle. But Bailey's plan is to basically use the mask, the helmet, the Ant-Man helmet that I described in a previous issue that allows them to communicate with the shades. Basically plug it into the base and then use all the power from the base into the helmet. I don't know if she wants to actually communicate with the shades or if she just wants to shut off all the power, which will allow all the shades to come in and fight, which isn't going to hurt the Nocturnes because the shades don't recognize the Nocturnes, which again brings up another thing. Why in previous issues were Nocturnes chasing and attacking Bill? Why were shades chasing and attacking Bill when Bill is a Nocturne and cannot be affected by the shades? I mean, it's even mentioned earlier in here that the shades don't go after Nocturnes. They don't recognize them. The shades can't see the Nocturnes. So how were they attacking Bill in previous issues? I don't know. This is something I wish that they had mentioned. Maybe they did, but it was like way too quick and I just, didn't recognize it. But yeah, that's another thing that just bothered me. Also, I have no idea what Bailey's plan is, but that's what she's going to try to do. I will say at the end it says next to be concluded. So I'm wondering, are they going to conclude the series altogether, or is this just the conclusion of this arc? Because I will say this series feels like it's nearing its end. I mean, there's only so much you can do on this journey. So it's like, how long are they going to drag out them finding Eos? But at the same time, I don't feel like I feel like there's enough that you can't finish it in one issue without it being rushed. Like, if they were to conclude this whole series in the next issue, I'm going to have to guess that you're either not going to find Eos, or most of the issue is going to be them like trying to fight their way out of this base, most of them dying, and then you're going to get an epilogue where they just kind of wrap everything up about how Bailey was able to find Eos. Like, Valve and her group are going to sacrifice themselves to get Bailey out of there, probably with Adam, and then her and Adam are going to live happily ever after on Eos. And this is basically going to be about how Bailey becomes the new Val by having her own convoy that she uses to bring other survivors onto Eos. I'm guessing, I don't know, but I feel like basically I feel like that this series is coming to an end, but that this series also has enough that it can't end in just one issue. It needs a couple more issues, at least one more arc to finish it. One more like 3-issue arc to conclude everything. So yeah, I don't know what they mean by conclusion. I don't know if they mean the series or the arc. I'm hoping it's the arc. Otherwise, I feel like if it's a series, it's going to be rushed. But yeah, there's issue number 10. I guess we have one more to go for something, either the arc or the series. I don't know. But yeah, things are happening. Things are kind of going fast, and it's weird. It feels like it's going fast, but then slow at the same time, because we have like all the big players are now meeting each other. You have Sam, Diggs, and the Nocturnes. You have Valve and her group, and Blacktop Bill. Everyone's all in the same place. So, but a lot of this issue was mostly like dialogue and stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll see where it goes. There you go, Nocterra issue number 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care, everybody. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.